ONS's preliminary estimate for GDP in the fourth quarter of 2011 is that it fell by 0.2%. That makes GDP 0.8% higher than in the snow-affected fourth quarter of 2010. And it means, since we are in the fourth quarter, we can now say that for 2011 as a whole, GDP grew by 0.9% as compared to 2010. Now, by way of sector, the overall fall is broadly accounted for by a 1.2% decline in the output of production industries. The service sector overall was flat. I'll say a bit more about that in a moment. And while construction is also estimated to have contracted by 0.5%, this would not have been sufficient to have a significant impact on GDP, given the size of that sector. Within the production sector, the main effects on GDP came from a fall in manufacturing output of 0.9% and from a fall in electricity and gas output of 4.1%. Each of these accounted for falls of around 0.1% in GDP, making the 0.2% fall overall. As for the service sector, as I mentioned, this sector was flat overall, but that hides some offsetting movements. There was a fall of 0.5% in the distribution, hotels and restaurant sector, but that was accompanied by an increase of 0.4% in the output of government and other services. Those movements are both, in those two sectors, are both equivalent to around 0.1% of GDP, but they offset, and hence the overall flat picture for services as a whole. I should just say that, as always at this stage, these estimates are preliminary ones and they're liable to revision as more data becomes available. The margins of error for these preliminary estimates are of the order of plus or minus 0.2 percentage points.